Hey guys, so I've got my driver today and I'm going to walk you guys through a speed training session, which I have not done in probably a year. I really don't know what my max club head speed is. I'm going to just little by little just warm up driver and kind of go through each one of the swings of the compound pivot, the lead leg, the sling back, the throw, and explain it each one when I do it and call it out. And then I've got just like a little, blue radar here. Nothing too fancy. If it's within a mile an hour or two, who cares? I'm being very vulnerable. This is, hey, I'm 53 years old. When I do a lot of compound pivot stuff, my QL and my glute, loosen up. If I sleep funky or my pelvis gets twisted, I don't move around as great. So there's little by little that now that I'm just about leaving the golf course, only 2 days a week now, till probably the first week or so of December, where I'll be able to do this full time and then come for you guys. So I know that's not a hook. That's just me being real, trying to explain to you what I'm going to do today. So stay tuned for that. So we can get right into it. All right. So here we go. So what I want to do first. And I'm just gonna shout out the number that I see. And I have it angled this way so you guys can kind of see it enough, right? Is I just try to feel the weight of the club swinging first. And just try to feel the back muscles stretch. I like to feel my whole right side, feel like I can literally pull my shoulder and spine back. I want my leg to straighten. Kind of want that nice, good stretched feel first to kind of let me see what kind of range I have before I kind of start ramping up some speed a little bit. So when I do that, like that's just a nice little warm up. So that's 100 miles an hour, okay? And, again, I'm just with the driver, just trying to make sure everything gets loose. Wrist joints feel okay, leg feels okay. And if anything felt really bad here, I probably would just stop it and not do it today. Okay, but everything feels pretty good. I've got an ART guy in Nashville that I love, Preston Wakefield. I'm gonna give him a shout out because I think that he does a great job, like Humpty Dumpty, putting me back together. He's a active release technology chiropractor. If you're ever in Nashville and you're blessed to go see him, just tell him Roger sent you. All right, so let's kind of get into the first one where I'm just gonna kind of feel my feet rolling a little bit and kind of feeling the weight of the club swinging. So this is the compound pivot, and I'll go about, say, 50-60% or so. And that's 119, okay? Now, I'm gonna talk a little bit about how did I do that? So when I shift over, my leg pushes my pelvis over, and that sets my hands and arms down in this position, and then I give it a throw, okay? So the timing of it is there when I do that, okay? So, and trust me guys, stay with me because I'm gonna do all of them, okay? So, and we'll see which one goes fastest for me, and the percentage of that. So here we go. So I'm just gonna roll my foot just a little faster, let my arms go a little quicker. All right, that's 127. So on a compound pivot, if you see me shift and my head moves off the ball, I'm gonna slow down. That's gonna slow me down. So I'm really trying to stay centered and really feel this wind up, really feel that foot go, and really feel that. And also that's gonna really give me, and anytime you start doing long drive stuff, and I'm sorry that light's right there, I figured it's better to see me this way, and we'll talk about the throw and why it's probably just a little bit less than others, but yet you can still throw and still counterbalance. But the wider that you'll get, the more that your weight will always have a tendency to either be in your right leg or you're going to counterbalance and go to your left to where you don't fall off balance. So the foot has to roll and the pelvis has to go back to keep my head on center. Here we go. All right, that's 130. So, and I'll do about maybe, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 swings. As I loosen up more, my body will loosen up more. I'm just wearing golf shoes, you know, they're not even tied up. I've got my Holland divot glove. You can tell it's loose, so therefore my hands are gonna be loose at the top. And that way you guys can put this on film and you can sit there and slow it down and you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so one more compound pivot. Gonna really, and all I'm doing is making that little walking motion that I talk about with the feet and the legs. And it looks like 130 is gonna be it. Okay, so, all right, so now, let's get into talking about the counterbalance. And the counterbalance is like a gravity golf would call it a heave back. I learned this back when I was 20 years old, and this is what got me up to 130 miles an hour. A guy named Art Quick, who I think is probably who's passed on now. He was probably the first person, well, he was the first person that ever taught me club head speed. And so what he would do is he would say, shove it back, shove my shoulder back, but my shoulders and arms and triangle would go back, and I'd shove it back as fast as I could, and then pause about as long as I felt I could, and then throw it right from the top as long as I could. He never discussed that you keep your head on center, didn't discuss your right leg pushes back over or anything like that. He kept it pretty simple. So let's do some, for Art Quick, let's do some shove it back, pause, and throw. And you'll see the difference here, okay? Okay, now what do you think? That's more effort, right? 128. Let's do it again. And I'm also, we'll play around with this for a moment, and I'm gonna shove it back to certain places and then let it coast. So, and we'll see what the speed difference is, okay? So this one I'm gonna shove back to say about 8 o'clock, then let my hands be passive, and then throw. And that's 124, okay? I'm throwing it as hard as I can. And when I mean throwing it, that means right from the top, my arm is going, just like throwing a ball, right down the target line, okay? So, now I'm gonna shove it back to about 9 o'clock. And that's 128. All right. Now I'm going to shove it to 10. And that's 132. I think that's the fastest today. Okay? So now I'm going to shove it back as fast as I can, as long as I can. Try to feel like I pause as long as I can. By the way, I'm feeling like I'm pausing, and you'll see that what that ultimately does, there is no pause, okay? Ultimately what that is that when you shove it back, you're having the biggest arc, biggest circle, and then you're allowing the club head to, as Quan would say, mature, or the wrist to set fully. Okay, so now I'm just gonna shove it back all the way, pause for what I think is as long as possible, and throw it as long as possible. More effort, 129, okay? Doesn't mean that's slower. It just means that when I threw it back to the almost horizontal, I didn't have time for it to pause. So optimally, when you're shoving it back, you can kind of already see how my weight wants to go back somewhere right about where my arm is about 10 o'clock, and then that sets the wrist. So one more time, we'll go 10 o'clock or so. Maybe feels like 10 or 11. And 134. So, pretty cool, huh? So you guys can see exactly where I'm closing this down. Feeling real may or may not be the same. All right, so, whew. Can I call it a day? I'm tired. All right, so, all right, now let's do the medicine ball. / bucket of water toss, okay? So what that's gonna look like is, I'm hoping you can see the difference in these, is that I'm going to have a little shift towards it, like if I had the little bucket of water. I'm gonna shift off, so you're gonna see how the arms and the body and chest will go a little bit more together. My heel will come up. My first move is gonna be planting my foot, and then I'm going to throw the bucket with my arms and my body this way, okay? Now you'll see the tempo slower. That's 128. Why was the tempo slower? Because I'm not shoving it back and counterbalancing. I'm not rolling my foot to counterbalance my head this way. Now I'm going into a bent leg, trail leg, and so the tempo has to be slower, because if I'm swinging a bucket, you wouldn't swing a bucket like this, okay? So tempo has to be key here. So here we go. Here goes the bucket. And that's 130. All right, so you guys can see, when I get to the top, I'm not just flailing my hands and arms, I'm pushing the ground down with torque, elbows out in front, and finishing. All right, so lead leg, sling back, then we'll do the throw, underhand throw, and then we'll do the counterbalance, and then that's it. All right, so so what's the difference in shove and sling? So when I sling, I'm gonna add more wrist snap back, whereas when I shove it, it's more of a whole triangle going, okay? So you guys can see the difference here. So I'm gonna sling this back now. I'm gonna load this leg. The right leg is gonna sling it. It's much faster tempo, 135. So equal and opposite forces. Why? Well, I created more wrist snap. Okay. One more time. And by the way, the downswing happened so fast there was no throw. People go, what did I do? Shit, I don't know. As soon as I sling it back, the ground is pushing me, and then the ground's pushing me, and I'm just holding on for the ride. Okay, so here we go again. You can see this little sling here. And that's 135. So, no. Sorry, 139. Holy smokes. Man, that's happening so fast. My core. Oh, so why haven't I been? One, I haven't been doing strength training hardly at all. I've been killing myself for you guys, where everything's going to be slowing down. Not in my business, but the 40 hours I get back from the golf course, I'll now be able to train, eat a little better, stretch, do the strength training, speed training, all the stuff that you see. Holy smokes, 139. I didn't see that one coming. Here, I'll just kind of, not to BS you. There you go. Now, nor is that, by the way, supremely fast compared to a long driver who swings 150 miles an hour. But I believe that is kind of how the same physics works for them. They just hit lots of balls. So it's not bad for an old man at 53 years old. Comment below if you guys like this. So all these different styles is what I teach to help you guys out. So you go to RK Swing King. You know what? Why don't I do this? You guys made it this far. Let's do the Zoom buy one get one package for a early Black Friday sale. You don't have to need a code. I'll just have it dated where when you email me, I'll do it for about 3 days or so. How about that? We'll lead into it. So if you see this, just email me and say, hey, is the special still going? I have a little bit more free time with now being the golf course. You know, I have a few more hours now that I can do that. So let's do that again. Yeah, it's 139. It's kind of fun. So all I'm doing now is just slinging it back as fast as I can, letting the wrist go. Here we go. so now let's go to, I can't do many more of those. Deconditioned athlete here, and I need to be able to give you guys as much as humanly possible, and I think Titleist says after 30 swings you're pretty much done. So now I'm going to let's actively throw now, okay? So what that means is, all I'm doing now is you can shift a little if you want, but the right hand is winding up, which I have quite a few people doing this right now because they've been turning and they have no hand action. So as they've learned to wind the hand up and the arm, then the pressure goes and then the arm goes and it's more underhand throw, okay? So we'll see. Now, by the way, when you throw, that elbow is bent, hand is bent here, and then arm extends. All right, so I'm just gonna wind the hand up, throw. And that's 131. See, so the difference of, let me do, whew, my goodness. Tell me if you guys can see the difference. I'm gonna throw that in one more time just to see how loose I am and see what that speed is. Because I'm just curious for my own self on the compound pivot one more time. Yeah, it's slower, 130. So sling back obviously has more speed going this way and counterbalancing forces, right? So Newton's laws. All right, one more throw here. Hand winds up. So remember that's 130, 131, okay? So now I'm winding the hand up and I'm throwing the arm to the target, underhand as fast as I can. I'm not doing anything with I'm not trying to drive the legs, I'm not trying to turn the body. I'm not trying to throw my hand this way. I'm literally just throwing my arm under. One more. Whew, I'm getting tired. Lord help me. Whew, all right, so for you underhand throwers that think that's slow, that's 135. Oh crap, getting tired. All right. All right, so last one is I'm just gonna now let the weight of the club swing like a weight on a string, and I'm gonna counterbalance and snap. $134. So all I'm feeling is, right here from the top, is I feel like I'm snapping and counterbalancing like a hammer throw. You know, my body's going the opposite way. Last one, I hope you guys like this. Whew, I'm tired. I got golf lessons at 12, 1, 2, and 3, 4. Here we go. I'm gonna start it out. I'll even start it out here a little bit so you guys can kind of see the weight, which should have me counterbalancing all the way around. And that's 132. All right, so now what did we learn? One, that I'm old and tired. Two is that for you guys, they're all gonna work different. So I'm anywhere between 130 to 139, potato. That's maximum me's, right? That's not training. If I train, again, I get stronger, my core gets stronger, I get more flexible, etc. And I'll do this test again, all these speeds will go up. Same thing with you. So optimally, when I'm teaching you guys, if you're an underhand thrower and you think you're gonna throw it a little bit less, well, maybe less than, say, the sling back, or maybe less than the compound pivot, or maybe not. Because if you do this easily and you don't feel this, then there's no reason to do the sling backs. I just wanted to show you guys the difference in speed with a little bit of speed training. Yeah, man, that's it, okay? So, Zoom lesson, buy one, get one, rkswingking.com. Praise the Lord for getting me through this, as I'm a little tired. All right, guys, thanks so much for all that you do for me. God bless you guys.